Okay, so we're going to look at one of the buttons on the calculator today. It's one that's not very often used, and lots of people have seen it and don't really know what it does, but it can be quite useful when we're working with time. It's called, I call it the time button. It's not only used for time, but for the context of GCSE maths, time is what we'll call it, and it's this one here. So what you see is a full stop and a speech mark and then a double speech mark. So it's that one. Bit of a strange symbol, and you may have seen it, and I would imagine very few people have used it. And it is for time. So let me just explain. So if I was to say I want to enter a time of 4:15. So the way I enter 4:15 is I press the 4, I press my time button, and it gives you like a little degree sign, a bit like you're entering angles, but it's not quite that. So that's 4 hours and 15, and then I press it again, and I get another degree sign. And if I wanted to go to seconds, then I could enter the seconds as well and press it again. But I'm just going to leave it on minutes. So that says 4:15. Okay. So if I press equals there, can we see down at the bottom, it says 4 with a little circle at the top, 15 with a little speech mark, and then 0 with a double speech mark. So that is 4 hours, 15 minutes, and 0 seconds. Okay. Right. So that's how we enter the time. So we press the hours and the time button, and the minutes and the time button, and the seconds and the time button, if we want to use seconds. Okay, so what I'm now going to do, I'm going to show you how to use that button for a question like that. So I want to know how much time there is between 3:45 and 7:29. Okay, so it might be a question that's saying a train leaves London at 3:45 and it arrives in Manchester at 7:29. How much time has elapsed? Something of that nature. Okay, so here's how we can do it on the calculator. I think if you were doing it on a non-calculator, you would be maybe jumping up by 15 minutes and then jumping up on the hours and then finally the 29. But we can do it quite nicely on the calculator by saying we want to do 7:29 minus 3:45. Now we can't use a decimal place on this because 7:29 is not 7.29. We have to use our time button. So 7 hours, 29, and I'm pressing the time button again. So that's 7 time button, 29 time button, and I'm going to subtract 3:45. So I've done the minus 3 time button, 45 time button. So it says 7:29 minus 3:45, and I press the equals, and it says 3 with a 0, 44 with a speech mark, and then 0 with a double speech mark. So the answer is 3 hours 44 minutes. 3 hours 44 minutes is the answer to that question. Okay, so a really, really nice way of finding the difference between times. Okay, so let's look at another another question. So you can imagine this question here might be part of a timetables question, couldn't it? We see those on exam papers. So a bus leaves at 7:28 and it takes 47 minutes. What time does it arrive? Okay, so what I want to do this time, 7, time button, 28, time button. So that's my 7:28, not because you can't do 7.28 because it's not the decimal. This is 28 minutes. So, and I'm going to add 47 minutes. Now to do this, I've got to put, because you've got to put the hours first. So I'm going to put 0 hours, press the time button, 47 minutes, press the time button. You have to do the hours first, then the minutes, and then the seconds if there's seconds. I press equals, and I get 8 hours, 15 minutes, 0 seconds. So the answer is 8:15. Okay, 8:15. Sorry, that's what the calculator's saying there. Okay, so a really, really useful button. You have to practice it because it's a little bit fiddly, but can be quite useful on exam papers for those little mistakes that often happen with time. Okay, oh, that was useful.